All right, so you've enrolled in the class. What are you doing on a daily basis? Well, first of all, this class functions on a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday schedule. Every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, you're going to have a new assignment to do. That new assignment will be posted in the announcement section of Blackboard. In addition to it being posted on the announcement section of Blackboard, as the semester rolls and I get a little bit ahead of you guys, I will also update your schedule for success. I've switched textbooks and therefore I'm having to redo my lectures. There are also some technical issues with the previous textbook. That's right, if you had me a previous semester and had to suffer through OWL, good news, we've moved to Mastering Chemistry, a much better experience for you. But that means that I don't have everything up for the entire semester at the start of the semester. Therefore, you'll notice that your schedule may not cover the complete semester yet. But every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, you'll see an announcement in Blackboard that will tell you what you're supposed to do that day. You will have 1 week to complete the assignment. What's your typical assignment? Well, let's look at how I set up your schedule and how your schedule will be set up. For example, if you were in General Chemistry 2, on the 18th, you'd be listening to Lecture 1 and Lecture 2. Then you'd take a lecture quiz, and then you would do your homework. And there's no homework on 8/18, but some days there'll be some homework. You would have until 8:25 to get this work completed. In other words, you have a 1-week time frame before the lecture quiz is considered late. Let's move ahead. If you're in Chemistry 2, on the 21st of August, you'd listen to Lecture 5, Lecture 6, and you would take the lecture quiz over Lecture 8.4 and 8.7.1. And you would do homework number 1 over 8.1 to 8.4. If you want to pass the class, you should do it on 8/21. However, I understand life happens. I understand that you may not be able to do chemistry on that day because your boss wants you to work a double or something. That's why I give you a week to get an assignment due. After a week, 8/28 is considered late. And you'll read in the syllabus, have a late penalty. I charge you 2.5% of the grade on the assignment for each day. So in other words, if the assignment's 2 days late, that's 5%. 4 days late, it's cost you a letter grade. Yes? 8 days, 2 letter grades. So to account for illness, car breakdowns, work, children, always try to do an assignment the day I assign it. That way you have a week to get it done. All right, where do you find the lectures? The lectures are found in Blackboard. They're the only thing in Blackboard after today. You find your lectures right here under Dr. Kelly's lectures. Your lecture quizzes and your homework assignments and even your tests and exams are all located in Mastering Chemistry. Mastering Chemistry is located right here. You've already paid for access. When you enrolled in this course, you'll notice you were charged a $60 course fee. That $60 course fee gives you access directly to this Mastering Chemistry. All right, so you've clicked through to Mastering Chemistry, and this is what Mastering Chemistry looks like. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to give you a student's view of it, which is one of the things about the only thing I don't like about this program. But when you're at the course home, what you'll see is you'll see your assignments. Your assignments can be viewed in calendar view, or they can be viewed in list view. I recommend using list view. Why do I recommend using list view? Because list view lists the assignments in the order that you should do them. Calendar view lists the assignments in the order they should do them, but it lists them off that emergency late date, right? This is the date where the assignment is late if you don't complete it by 11:59 p.m. Therefore, these dates you see in the calendar view are actually a week behind. Let me be very clear about that. The dates you see here are a week behind where you should be working, because I have to program the computer with the late dates, not the date you should do assignment. For example, you see your introduction assignment is due the 24th. If you don't do it by the 24th, it's late. But you should be doing it right here, yes? So beware of that flaw with the calendar. That's why I would always, always, always recommend that if you want to know what you should be doing, go to the announcement section of Blackboard, and you will see where I've got a list of announcements. I don't have one posted yet, but every single day I'll post an announcement telling you what you should be doing that day. If you look at the list view, however, you'll be able to say, okay, first thing I need to do this, next thing I need to do this, this, and you'll work along in the correct order, and you can focus on something other than the dates. Your grades, because all your work is kept in Mastering Chemistry, your grades are too. And you can see your grades at any time by clicking Scores, and that will bring you to your grade. In addition to having your homework, lecture quizzes, and tests, all in Mastering Chemistry, you also have your textbook located in Mastering Chemistry. You probably went to the bookstore expecting to have to buy a book for this class, and the bookstore told you you don't have a textbook for it. Well, you do have a textbook for it. You just prepaid for it. If you click this button here, labeled Etext, you get this message here, click it, and it takes you to your textbook. Very slowly today. All right. What you'll notice is if you look at the schedule and the announcements, I'm always saying Lecture 3 over 8.2 or Lecture 15 over 8.12. That 8.12 is the section in the book. So if you're wanting more chemistry than my wonderful lectures provide you, or you want a second opinion on something I told you, you can go over here, and it's really, really small when it appears on this video. You can go over here, Chapter 8, and you'll get a list of the sections. If I'm lecturing over 8.12 that day, you can go to 8.12 right there in the menu, and voila, here's 8.12, and you can read about it. And this is neat. It lets you highlight. It lets you search if you want to. Does lots of really fun things. You can also print it. If you'll notice right here, there is a print setting for it. So if you want to print out the book and read it the old-fashioned way, that's fine. I just wouldn't do it with your home computer because that would get expensive. So I would recommend using the college's computer. Did I say that? Don't tell the computer people I said that. To print it out. But that's where your Etext is. About your assignments, one thing I would tell you about your lecture quizzes. Your lecture quizzes will be based only on information you can obtain. And I need to change that. I've got that set to a chapter test when it should be a lecture quiz. Lecture quizzes contain information that you can only get by listening to the lectures. I hide keywords in the lectures that I expect you to write down. For example, I would expect you to write down the Bengals. I hope you're writing down the Bengals. Once you've written down the Bengals, you can continue listening to me talk. But I'll do things like that during the lecture, and you'll have to write down those words. And the lecture quiz will simply be something like that. Dr. Kelly told you to write down the following words. Choose all correct. Dr. Kelly told you to write down the following words. Choose all correct. Right? So all you have to do to get the points for your lecture quiz are listen to what I have to say and write them down. So I'm actually spotting you quite a few points just for doing what you should be doing anyway. That's it for the homework, and where you find it, your tests and exams are also located in here. Everything except the lectures are located in Mastering Chemistry are located in Mastering Chemistry and not Blackboard. That's it. Beep.